Okay, this is a client demonstration. This case has been reviewed in the case review on Assertiveness Training, and this is an actor who was playing the role of a client. As I said in the case review, she's a 27-year-old African-American female, single, living at home. And for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to call her Janice. Hi, Janice.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Remember we were talking about your father and the situation at home. And you were saying you were feeling very uncomfortable because he interrupts you. He kind of monitors your telephone calls. And sometimes you feel like he's watching over your shoulder. But when I asked you, you said you didn't ever talk to him about it. So today the goal is to kind of train you in a technique that you can use to talk to him about it without making him mad. And also still getting your feelings across. And it's called the Assertiveness Formula. And we've gone on over it before, but just to recap, the first thing you do is just state the behaviors, the things that are bothering you. So remember the instance when you were on the telephone and he was standing behind you listening? Okay. So if we use that as an example, you would say, when you, and then just describe his behavior, what he did.
Okay.
Can you practice that?
When you stand behind me while on the phone, that really upsets me. I'm not sure how to deal with that as far as me being an adult and you're my father.
Excellent. That was very, very good. Do you think that he could accept that statement?
I'll try, but it might be hard knowing my father.
Well, let's go over a few of the elements again. When you, and let's make it very specific, like when you, and where, how, and when it happened, how you would like him to act, and how you felt. So first you'd say, when you stand behind me like last Saturday night. Then you'd say, I feel. And we use a few simple feelings like love, positive feeling, happy, that's a positive feeling, angry, that's a negative feeling,
Right.
sad, and frightened or afraid. And then the next statement is, and I wish that you would. And when we express our wishes, we don't expect that the person's going to follow through on it. But we ask them to do something that we think is reasonable, that is within their control to do. And then we leave it to them to kind of mull it over, and very often they think, well, maybe I can accommodate you, or they come back with another alternative. So, like, if we redo it, giving all the details of how, when, and what, and who did it. When you stand over
Well, I was on the phone last night, and you stood over my shoulder while I was on the phone, and I don't appreciate that. I feel like that you're, I don't have any independence. I'm an adult, and you don't respect that, and I wish that you would not do that in the future.
Okay, very good. How do you feel about that statement?
I feel very positive about it.
Do you think that that would be something he could hear without getting angry?
Yeah, I hope so, yes.
Yeah. I know you said that his wife, your stepmother, is pretty understanding, and she understands that he's kind of babying you. So you might even practice with her a little bit. You know, say, I want to talk to my dad, and this is what I'm going to say. What do you think about it?
Okay.
And that might give you some support and a little practice in another situation closer to the real situation in the office, but still not with him, because she's pretty understanding and sympathetic. Right. And then once you kind of learn this technique, the value of using the Assertiveness Formula is that when you're upset, you have something simple you can do. Because when we're upset, we always have feelings that are too intense, and we kind of blank out. We get mad, or we get sad, and we choke up. And I know you said that several times you felt like saying something, but then you were afraid you were going to say something very mean. And you didn't want to do that because he loves you. and you know that it's a positive experience, that he is trying to encourage maybe not your independence, but your safety.
Right.
And that might be something else you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might be able to say, when you stand over me, I know that you're trying to protect me, and I feel that you love me, but I wish that you would have more faith in me,
Okay.
and more faith in my independence and my choices.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when we have something negative, we also have something positive.
Okay.
And if we express the positive, people take it
Better.
in a better balance, a better way.
Mm-hmm.
So what's one thing that you do feel positive about in terms of your dad?
That he's always been there for me, overall.
Yeah, you feel like you can really depend on him.
Yes.
And, you know, when he restricts you, is there any positive feeling about when he restricts you?
I feel that he loves me, he really cares about me,
Yeah.
but doesn't know how to let go of certain things.
Right. So if you said, when you stand over me or you check on me, I feel love, but I wish that you would respect my independence a bit more.
Okay.
Would that be something very positive for
Yes, it
him?
would be.
You know,
It would be.
he would be touched, perhaps, that you acknowledge.
That he's
No.
shows some emotion towards me and does care about me.
Right. You
Mhm.
appreciate it even.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he may appreciate that communication. And we have to be careful when we're communicating negative things
Mm-hmm.
to also try to tell the person what is positive in the relationship.
Okay.
And that gives a real good balance.
That sounds pretty good.
So we're going to practice that over the next week, and I'll see you next week.
Okay.
And I thank you very much for this demonstration.
Thank you very much.
Okay.